We're starting with the Cowboys' slow start. Now, recently we've heard Jerry Jones say the Cowboys were going all in and that he was the best GM in the league and that the team couldn't afford Derrick Henry even though they could have. And yesterday he said, you know what, this slow start, on me. Take a listen.
WFAA TV this morning had a poll, saying who was to blame for the 1-2 start, the players in the field, everything. 70% said that you were the one to blame. Is that fair?
That's very fair. That's very fair. It's well known that no decision is ultimately made there, but what I either have it acquiesced or approve it. That's very fair. How could you think otherwise?
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for the slow start?
Can I say something real quick before I answer? He wants the blame.
Yeah.
Because he wants the credit if they ever win a Super Bowl.
May have been disappointed in the 70%.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry wants the Cowboys to be inextricably linked to him for good or for bad, because for him it's always good. So I totally agree. I think you and I, we didn't talk about it, Wilds, had the same read. He would have loved that to be 98%. They blame Jerry Jones because it means if they do ever get back to the top of the mountain, people will inextricably tie it to him. But it's not who I blame. I honestly put it on a guy who gets criticized on this show a ton, and I almost always am the one person trying to defend him. I put this on Micah Parsons and Mike Zimmer. This has to be the strength of the team. And aside from week one, when they played a team that the more we see that offense led by Deshaun Watson stumble about, we look at as maybe the most dysfunctional offense in all of football. Aside from that week, they've had their lunch money taken week in, week out. Since week one against the Browns, they are allowing 13 yards per pass. Everyone's talking about the run defense. 13 yards per attempt. A 135 rating to go along with 230 yards per game rushing on 5.5 yards per attempt. They've allowed in 2 games 10 touchdowns. And here are their defensive ranks for the season, which obviously incorporates a really good week one. The sack number 6 of those 7 came against Deshaun. And to really hammer the point home, here's what Dallas has done. Well, it's a blind reveal. Dallas is on one side. I'll tell you that much. The last 2 weeks, if we can go to that, please, because it's stunning. So this is Dallas's production. The last 2 weeks, 1 pick, 1 sack, 2 TFLs, 0 forced fumbles. Please reveal it for comparison's sake.
That's an individual, right?
Yeah, it's Dennis Gardeck, a 30-year-old kind of journeyman. He's been on the Cardinals his whole career, undrafted free agent. Shout out to him. He's having a heck of a season. That's the whole team. He has more splash plays in 2 weeks than the Cowboys' entire team. And so Micah's the best player. He's supposed to be in the discussion for best player in the entire league on his side of the ball. And that, to me, has been the Cowboys' biggest leak this season, is their defense. So I'm going to put it on him and his breakfast buddy, or no pun intended, good morning show here, but breakfast mate Mike Zimmer, because remember they said they're having... No, him and the new defensive coordinator.
Well, that's fair, because I don't want to exonerate the players at all, right? And they are the ones that strap on the helmets and have to go out there and get it done, regardless of who's the owner or the coach. So I'm with you. None of them have done it. I blame Micah. I'm not exonerating Dak and CeeDee Lamb. You just got your big money. CeeDee doesn't look like a top 20 receiver right now. And Dak, I don't think Dak's playing well. Like, Dak puts up numbers. I think he's leading the league in yards right now, which is no surprise. We've seen him do that in the past. But a lot of times those are comebacks when you're down big. And when they're down 28-6 or whatever it might be, I don't just blame the defense. I say, well, yeah, your defense giving up points, but you're not scoring either. So maybe you could try to hang with that team that's scoring a lot of points. So I blame Dak and Zimmer, of course, right? And I think Zimmer is a good defensive coordinator. But people were talking about him like he was Buddy Ryan after game one. And I'm like, Dan Quinn was also a good defensive coordinator. So they're different, but don't sleep on Dan Quinn. But I do put this on Jerry. Because, Nick, you didn't agree, but we knew they didn't have any running backs in that room. All right, Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn. And there were a plethora of ones available this summer.
True.
And all you had to do, if you're going to give Dak $60 million, you might as well do it in April. You probably could have got him for less. You almost definitely could have got CD for less had you paid him in the spring.
And then you have the money.
And then you have the money to go out and get a Derrick Henry, a Saquon Barkley, who I'd rather have than Henry, Aaron Jones, Josh. There were a number of guys
Mixon,
available.
Josh Jacobs, and J.K. Dobbins went for the league minimum.
So that's on them. And then the run defense, which you said it yesterday, it was a problem. I know overall they were like middle of the pack, but that was a lot of tomato cans. Look at these games. The playoffs against Green Bay rushes for 143. San Francisco, when they trampled them 42-10, rushed for 170. Arizona, when they upset them with Josh Dobbs at quarterback, rushed for 222. And Buffalo, when they beat them late in the season, rushed for 266. So you knew this was a problem, and they go out and do nothing. Like, they did nothing in French. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl and went out and signed another receiver, Hollywood Brown. The other teams that played well and went deep, the Ravens, go to the AFC Championship game, have the best running game in the league, and go out and sign Derrick Henry. Like, the Cowboys, Jerry's philosophy of, I'm not really messing around with free agency we developed through the draft and what we have, is not working. And had they gone out again, better teams than them added through free agency. They did. Eric Kendricks, he's 32, was a Pro Bowl 5 years ago.
And by the way, Kendricks agreed with another team, remember? And then, and then was like, actually, I want to play with Zimmer, and so kind of changed at the last minute. They were fortunate to even get him. Yeah, go ahead.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Other than Zeke, I mean, come on.
I liked Zeke for the Patriots last year.
Yeah.
Question for you. Right. Anybody can answer it. Whose fault is it that my son, who's 10, can't dunk?
Yours. Well, yours and your wife, it's a pair.
But well, he's 10. Very few 10-year-olds can.
Oh, okay.
It's nobody's fault.
But it's your guy's fault that he'll never be able to.
No, he'll be able to dunk.
Oh, okay.
Let me stall.
Oh, okay.
The idea, so I'm putting a little bit of on the media. They're like, are we sure this is not a slow start? That there's these expectations that the Cowboys are supposed to be this team? But you know what? They're not. 2/3 of their games haven't been close. Like, there's another
So you're
team.
blaming the media for higher expectations?
Yes.
They did. I mean, look, Nick had a little higher than me.
The premise of this question, like slow start, like maybe it's not. Did the Panthers start
They were
slow?
supposed to get demolished by the Saints.
Wilds.
But they did.
And they won 12 games the last 3 years.
I don't care.
Okay,
well, that's how we judge them.
I don't think that's that. Every year there's a huge turnaround. The whole snow globe of the NFL shakes more than anywhere else.
Right.
It's not the NBA. It's not Major League Baseball.
Okay.
There's more turnover and weird stuff happening in the NFL than anywhere. And we've said, you know what? And we're still doing it. To this very question assumes that the Cowboys have to be good.
No, hold on. But yes, there's more turnover, and despite that turnover,
Yeah.
they're the only team in the league that's won 12 games 3 straight years.
I don't care.
And so,
the same players.
You said anybody can answer. Let me
I said that about the kid dunk.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I mean, do you right now? Are you just as disappointed, or should fans be just as disappointed in the Titans as the Bengals? No. Because even though they're both 0-3,
yes.
You think
no. That's fair.
Right. So and those expectations were based on previous year's season. Do you have a franchise quarterback? Mm-hmm. Do you have star players? That is, this coming year, if the Nuggets and the Pistons win the same amount of games and miss the playoffs,
it would be strange.
You would be more disappointed in one. So I don't look the Quincy Carter Cowboys that were talked about having accomplished nothing. This is a team that if the media right before the playoffs this year out in lockstep is like, man, this is the year they make the Super Bowl, then I think the pushback is fair. I don't think it was irrational for them to be projected to be a playoff team.
No, I don't think it's. I don't think at the projection.
Everybody's thinking they were going to be 2-0. And then 2-1.
And 2-1, yes.
Yes.
But right now, we've watched 3 Cowboys games. Mm-hmm. 2 of them have been absolute disasters. And when you look at the teams that have had, everybody's had 3 games, where 2 games have been absolute disasters, it's a very small
So you're
grouping.
saying moving forward?
Moving forward, this
we
team has
shouldn't
proven
look at them
who they
as-
are right now.
Oh, so I think
The
teams
Bengals
can
at
change over the course of the
0-3
year.
are more impressive than the Cowboys at 1-2.
So I don't agree with you.
So just let me make the argument. Did the Bengals play well against the Chiefs?
Yes.
Yes. And they didn't punt against the Commanders. There was 2 games that were in the balance. They were not
but
very
also
good against the Patriots.
Yeah, they
the
also
Patriots.
have, in my opinion, a loss to the
Well, the
Patriots
Saints-
losing to the Patriots is worse than being blown out by the Saints, in my opinion.
Maybe. I don't know how you could. I don't know how you can make that
because
argument.
I think the Patriots are going to win 2 more times all year, and that's why I. That's why I think.
Saints
I mean, I'm
game
not
was
just
an absolute
I also,
That was a historically
if
bad
I may
first
for
half.
a moment just